This is my new channel. I'm going to keep it simple. This channel is more like an experimental channel. It's basically to try out a lot of ideas that I don't put on my main channel. You know what happens when you get a main channel, like your big channel, the one that you've had for several years. You know, you kind of want to keep it a certain way. And this one is kind of like an experiment. It's kind of like a channel that I can just... I want to dedicate this more to philosophical pursuits. My other one is kind of like a mixture of everything. I have a lot of stuff. This is my insulin pump, by the way. This thing, insulin pump. I'm diabetic, and I have an insulin pump. My other channel, my other three main channels, because I have actually more channels than that. I have others that have other little anonymous names on them, but I have my PH Lewis 86, Rock Painter 1, and Squirrel World X. On those channels I talk about different things, but mostly the PH Lewis 86 is the one I basically spend a great deal of time on. I haven't uploaded anything on those other channels in months. And maybe this one might be the same. I might upload something every so often if I felt like talking about it. Things I don't want to put on my main channel. But this is kind of a thing that I'm putting up here because I have a certain philosophy about things. And it's reflected in my username, problem equals 0. There are many times in life people suffer a lot of time from pseudo problems. Problems that aren't really problems. They get hysterical and upset and angry and frustrated over things that really aren't problems when you step back. And you look at the larger picture of things, you begin to think that, you know what, this stuff really isn't a problem. The problem is 0. There's no problem. I'm just making a big deal out of it. I'm getting upset over nothing. You ever get into a fight with somebody, you know, and at the end of the fight you look and you say, what was that fight about? It was about nothing. It started off as one little thing and then it escalated into this big, you know, thing. And sometimes in life, you know, things like that happen when you don't really have your feet firmly grounded in who you are. I try to work on keeping myself firmly grounded on who I am. And not get into a lot of complicated stuff with people. You know, I would get into some little bickering with other people. But you know, you kind of find these little petty people who just want to fight about something. They want to fight. They want to feel big. They want to feel important. And they want to kind of bully somebody or beat up on a person. So they say all kind of crazy stuff. And you know, it's all about nothing. At the end of the day, they haven't accomplished anything. These people are not very effective. They're not very good problem solvers. You know, the problem really equals 0. You know, it's like a person, like I think about people who in my life would make a big deal out of little things. You know, I mean little things that are nothing. The problem is 0. And I learned something, to just ignore people like that. You know, every so often I slip back into that stuff. But then I have to remind myself, wait a minute, the problem equals 0. That's a philosophy that I have in life. It's just called problem equals 0. Before you get into a nonsense argument or some crazy debate over something that's totally unimportant, you have to remember, it's nothing. You don't have to win. You know, you can just step back and say, you know what? Life is too short to worry about things or to get into little petty arguments. There are real problems in the world. And there are real problems in your life. You know, sometimes I have health problems and sometimes I have other problems. Real problems. But to get into these little pseudo problems, these imaginary problems, these ideology problems, those things, I'm not into that. I steer clear of all that stuff. That's one thing I steer clear of. This is my, I guess you can call it my introduction video. I'm not going to make it perfect. I'm not even going to polish this. This one might get 10 views at best. And I don't expect to get a lot of views. You know, some people, I expect some people to, once they discover this channel, they're going to migrate. Some of my other subscribers are going to migrate over to this one. But, you know, if you just want to look at some crazy things or whatever, and I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk off the top of my head. I'm going to say what I think. Sometimes I'm going to ramble on. I might even upload some videos that I made, you know, some time ago. Very long videos. I have one where I talked about patterns of things. I talk about a lot of things, so, you know, I think some people will find it interesting. I think sometimes it amazes me that people find some of the things I say interesting. But, you know, hopefully people will enjoy this. But the name of this new channel is called Problem Equals Zero. And that's all I have to say. I'm going to stop right here.